Good afternoon, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Hitchhiking Yeti here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I have traveled to the nice little community of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Really happy to be here today. The main reason I'm here is to try out Al's Burger Shack. I've heard great things about their hamburgers here. You guys who's been with me for the last several years, you know I like to find some really delicious hamburger locations in my travels, and that's why I'm here in Chapel Hill today. But while we're here, we got a little time to burn before Al's actually opens, so we just want to kind of walk down the main thoroughfare here in town, Franklin Street, see what they got here in Chapel Hill. It's been over 25 years since I have stepped foot in this town, and normally in the past when I used to come, it was for either a concert or a wrestling match. Back in the old WCW Monday Nitro days, they used to put quite a few of their Nitro matches. At least once a year they would come here and they would stop in Chapel Hill and put a big show on, and we used to drive up here, me and my buddies, and partake in Monday Nitro or a rock concert, either one. But all that being said, let's go ahead and get started, and I'll tell you a little bit about what I remember Chapel Hill from those days. I know it's changed a lot since then. All right, as I walk along, come across this really awesome looking mural on the side of this building. It's actually called the Blue Mural, which is self-explanatory since the main colors are all blue, just different shades of blue, but very awesome. This was actually painted by a guy by the name of Michael Brown way back in 1989. So this mural has definitely stood the test of time here in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. All right, so I've made it up here to West Franklin Street and South Columbia Street, and this is really cool. They got a Raising Cane's here. I have never tried a Raising Cane's, but this is Raising Cane's here in the town of Chapel Hill. I've always heard their chicken was pretty good, but the magic lies within the Raising Cane, like their cane sauce. I've always heard that's what really makes it delicious. And right here is the Chapel Hill Sportswear store. I have a lot of Tar Heel shirts and things in there. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but look, right there is the man himself, Michael Air Jordan, when he played here for Chapel Hill. And this would not be a college town without a Insomnia cookies. Anywhere there's a university or some kind of college, you're going to find Insomnia cookies. But look at this place right next to it. This is awesome looking. This old building right here, I thought it was going to say Voodoo Donuts, but no, it's actually Voodoo Wing Company right here, located here on Franklin Street. But something I want to talk to you about. Back in the day when we used to come here for concerts, wrestling matches, things like that, there was a place, little restaurant, little hole in the wall. It was called the Rathskeller. Some people would just kind of call it the Rat. And it was like, it felt like it was down in a dungeon, and it was somewhere right here in this area. And unfortunately it's been closed down now since I think the mid 2000s, like 07 or whatnot. But we're going to try to find it today and kind of just share a memory with you about how good. They probably had the very best lasagna I have ever had in my life was in that place, and I got to go there 2 times to eat while I was here in Chapel Hill. All right, so I was just right here at this location. It's called Suttons Drugstore, and I was in there talking to the gentleman at the cash register, and he assured me that the Rathskeller has indeed shut down, maybe back in like 07, 08, something like that, been a while ago. And he told me it was actually located right next door to here, down in this alleyway, and that's exactly how I remember. I remember going down steps into an alley, and the Rathskeller was like on the left. And he said, now there's another brewing company that has come in, but this is it. I totally remember. Man, look at the lights. Yes, this is the location. Now, back in the day when we used to come here and it was at nighttime, it was a little creepy. I think they used to have a little sign that hung like right here in this area. But this right here is where the Rathskeller used to be. And we would go in there, and they had like a really good steak they was known for. And they was also really known for their lasagna, because it was just like a bowl of cheese, and it was so good. They always served it with like a little piece of garlic bread or something. It was so delicious. But unfortunately, yes, it is no longer in business. It's kind of a bummer. That was such a great experience, which I'm kind of glad to know that it wasn't open today, because I'm here to eat a burger. But man, it was like some of the best lasagna you ever had in my life. Okay, right here on Franklin Street is a Ben & Jerry's ice cream, and right next to it is a little piece of home for me. Look at this, Trolley Stop, hot dogs and grill. We used to have a Trolley Stop in Carolina Beach many years ago, but there's still one in Riceville Beach, which I did a vlog there last year. I will put a link to that video down in the description below if you'd like to check it out. I tried out about 4 different types of dogs they had. And something I noticed though, the signage is still up there, but right here it says coming soon, White Sauce Grill and Bar, which tells me that the Trolley Stop may be no more here in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. At least at this location, seems to be gone. As I'm walking down the street and I'm seeing all this Carolina Tar Heel stuff adorned in some of the windows, it really does make me think back about being in the Dean Smith Center during one of the Monday Nitros, WCW Monday Nitro. Ric Flair, you can go and Google it on the YouTubes, go search it. One of the best Ric Flair promos I have ever seen. I got to witness in person. It was at the Dean Smith Center, and he talked about Michael Jordan and Lawrence Taylor and all these greats, and his whole rant was all about tradition. And he was talking about tradition as far as the Tar Heels go, and talking about the building was built on tradition. And then he was talking about how WCW's got tradition. It was all against the NWO back then, because he was like maybe he was like a president or something of WCW at that time. He wasn't as much as an in-ring talent during that specific period. I don't know if he was injured or recovering from an injury, but they do that with wrestlers, especially the older guys. Every once in a while, even though they can still go in the ring, they will put them in a position where they might be like an overseer or a president or a commissioner or whatnot. But yeah, one of the best ones I ever seen happen right back there, and it was all about tradition. So here in Chapel Hill, I've noticed that bikes are very popular, and this is kind of a cool looking store. It says the bicycle chain, We Know Bikes, and look at that old rickety old time bicycle up there all rusted. That's a real relic. All right, I have made it up here to South Graham Street and Franklin Street, and this is the location. This is it, Al's Burger Shack. How cool is this? This is kind of a legendary location here in Chapel Hill. One Love, that's what it says. Well, I know one love I have, and that's for hamburgers. Let's go in there and order one. All right, we have our burgers. The packaging kind of reminds me of old school McDonald's a little bit, like when you used to get the old, Big Mac. And this is what we're dealing with. This is going to be a messy burger. Definitely. We got the Bobo, which is chili, slaw, mustard, onions, cheese. Supposedly is, I think one of the best cheeseburgers in the whole country. Not just North Carolina, supposedly. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that right there. Let me just make sure it don't drip. That's what we're working with here. That is awesome. Okay, here goes nothing. I'll go ahead and tell you something very interesting about the chili. It has kind of a manwich type of a smell to it. Bon appetit. All right, so even though it had a little kind of a manwichy sweet smell to it, it does have a little spice to it. It doesn't taste like manwich, but this is a really nice burger. Very messy-o. That you see the meat, the beef, which, if I remember correctly, I think this beef mixture they have here, the 80-20, it actually comes from Mooresville, North Carolina, Race City, USA. That's what I read online. I think it's called Miller's Farm. So very cool that they import their beef from an actual farm here within the state of North Carolina. And definitely their beef has a really good texture and flavor to it. So I will say this, we went inside the order. Has you can tell this is one of those old school places. It's been around for a lot of time. The walls look very rustic looking. They have a lot of pictures and things like that on the wall. They even have a really cool picture of Michael Jordan and Dean Smith back years ago here at the Dean Smith Center right before a basketball game. Really cool little moment they captured, and they got it presented inside the restaurant where you order. So really neat little funky place, I think. So my wife is actually helping me eat this burger. Just look at the congealed goodness going on back there on the back side of that thing. That is such a good bite. This burger is fantastic on this potato bun, and they grill the bun too. Doing everything that I like. So my wife just told me that Al's Burger Shack has a second burger shack here in the area, in a place called Apex. I'm not really familiar with where Apex is, but I do know it's somewhat close. And then there's another one close to Wilmington, North Carolina, supposedly in Leland, which I didn't even know about that. So who knows? That might be a future stop. We might crash in there one day and try a burger out and see if it's as good as the original. All right, that was a very good hamburger. I throw my trash away now, but really interesting little mural that we have here at Al's Burgers. It says compassion, hope, love, peace, community, unity, dream, and positivity. That's all things that I like to say that is part of this channel. All right, so that was quite the experience at Al's Burger Shack. That was really, really good. All I can say, I did not really see a weak point in that burger. It was so good. Since I started this only in your state top 10 burgers, this right here has got to rank up there, because I mean, this thing was really, really a good burger. Kind of reminded me of Beach's Burgers or Siler City. What was that one called? Johnson's Drive-In. It was on that level. Like, and that to me is some of the top ones that I've tried. And I would rank Al's Burger Shack right there, because the potato bun was grilled. It was good. The chili was really on point for me. I loved the little bit of heat to it. It wasn't like super spicy or anything like that. It just had that little bit of bite to it. And then all the other toppings coming together, and it really congealed together nice and messy. It was so good. It was a Carolina style burger, but they actually called it the Bobo burger. Bobo cheeseburger, I think, is what it was up on the menu, the actually name of it. And it's supposed to be America's best cheeseburger. So I gotta say, I wouldn't argue that. That was really, really a good burger. Man, I gotta say, there are all kinds of little nooks and crannies in this town. But that is going to pretty much wrap it up for me today here in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. We're going to end the vlog right where we pretty much started the vlog today. And man, Chapel Hill was an awesome experience. I had so much fun driving down Franklin, looking at all the storefronts, reminiscing the old poor Rathskeller. Rathskeller was an awesome place to go get some lasagna, man. I just can't say that enough. Kind of hate to see it's gone. But all that being said, we are done today. And I thought I would just kind of show off this mural right here one last time. Greetings from Chapel Hill. I thought this was a really cool way to begin today's vlog. Really awesome. And let's end it right here. Until next time, friends, I'm the Hitchhiking Yeti, and I will see you in my next adventure. Y'all stay safe, and I hope to see you all again very soon.